The music world woke up to a silence it never expected. A silence that cut through the noise of flashing lights, roaring crowds, and booming speakers. A silence that reminded everyone, fans, artists, and celebrities alike, that behind the fame, behind the stage names, behind the viral moments, there are families, there are parents, and there are hearts that can break just like anyone else's. Today's story is not just about headlines. It's not just about a famous name. It's about a father, a mother, and a son whose life ended far too soon. Lil Jon, one of the most recognizable voices in hip-hop history, the man whose music defined an era of energy, celebration, and raw emotion, is facing the deepest pain imaginable: the loss of his son. On February 6, devastating news was confirmed by authorities in Georgia. 3 days after being reported missing, the body of 27-year-old Nathan Smith, professionally known as DJ Young Slade, was discovered near his home in Milton, Georgia. Nathan was Lil Jon's son, a young man with dreams, talent, and a future that many believed was just beginning. According to the Milton Police Department, at approximately 11:53 a.m. on February 6, divers from the Cherokee County Fire Department located and recovered a body from a nearby pond. The individual is believed to be Nathan Smith, pending official confirmation from the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office. Authorities stated that, based on the investigation so far, there is no indication of foul play. Still, the case remains open and active as investigators continue to examine every detail. For the Smith family, those official words do little to soften the reality. Because for them, this is not a case number or a police statement. This is their son, their child, their heart. Just days earlier, Nathan Smith had been reported missing under concerning circumstances. He was last seen near his Milton, Georgia home, and what made the situation especially alarming was that he had reportedly left without his cell phone. Friends, family, and fans immediately began sharing posts online, hoping that visibility would lead to answers. The music community rallied. Social media filled with prayers, reposts, and messages of hope. For 3 agonizing days there was uncertainty. And in that uncertainty lived a fragile hope that maybe Nathan would be found safe, that this would be another story of a scare that ended in relief. But on February 6, that hope was replaced with heartbreak. Nathan Smith was not just known as Lil Jon's son. In his own right, he was an artist, a producer, a DJ, and a creative force who worked hard to build his own identity in the music world. Under the name DJ Young Slade, he pursued his passion with dedication, learning the craft, collaborating with others, and carving out a path that reflected his own voice, not just his famous last name. Those who knew him described Nathan as kind, thoughtful, and deeply creative. Someone who loved music not for fame, but for expression. Someone who carried warmth into every room he entered. Someone who was proud of where he came from, but determined to be known for who he was. And above all else, he was a son. After the news became public, Lil Jon took to social media to share a message that was raw, honest, and deeply human. There were no stage personas, no catchphrases, no bravado. Just a grieving father speaking from a broken heart. "I am extremely heartbroken for the tragic loss of our son, Nathan Smith," he wrote. "His mother, Nicole Smith, and I are devastated. We love Nathan with all of our hearts and are incredibly proud of him." Those words resonated far beyond his fan base. Because grief, in its purest form, needs no translation. Lil Jon continued by expressing how deeply loved Nathan was, not just by his family, but by those around him. He spoke about pride, about love, about the comfort of knowing that in their last moments together, Nathan knew exactly how much he meant to them. "He was loved and appreciated," Lil Jon wrote, "and in our last times together, we were comforted in knowing that we expressed that very sentiment to him." For many parents reading those words, they hit hard. Because they reflect a universal fear and a universal hope. The fear of losing a child, and the hope that if the unthinkable ever happens, love was never left unsaid. As tributes began pouring in, fellow artists, producers, and fans shared memories, condolences, and messages of support. The hip-hop community, often portrayed as tough and unbreakable, showed its softer side. Because loss has a way of reminding everyone that no amount of fame, success, or money can shield a family from pain. Authorities have been clear in their communication. At this time, there is no evidence suggesting foul play. However, investigators continue to treat the case with seriousness and care, ensuring that every possibility is examined. The official cause of death has not yet been released, pending further examination by the medical examiner. In moments like this, speculation can spread quickly. But law enforcement has urged patience and respect as the investigation continues. And more importantly, the family has asked for privacy as they grieve. It's easy to forget that celebrities experience loss in real time, just like everyone else, except they do it under a microscope. Every statement becomes news. Every emotion becomes public. Every moment of grief is watched. Lil Jon has spent decades making people dance, laugh, and shout along to his music. His voice has been the soundtrack to celebrations, parties, and unforgettable memories. But now that same voice speaks in a different tone, one of sorrow, love, and remembrance. Nathan Smith's life may have been brief, but it mattered. It mattered to his parents. It mattered to his friends. It mattered to those who worked with him. And it mattered to fans who believed in his future. This tragedy also opens up a larger conversation about mental health, about vulnerability, about checking in on the people we love. While no official details have been released about what led to Nathan's disappearance or death, moments like this remind us how important it is to pay attention, to listen, and to support one another. Behind every smiling photo, behind every creative project, there can be struggles that aren't visible to the world. And sometimes, the strongest thing a person can do is ask for help, or offer it. As the investigation continues and the family mourns, one thing remains clear. Nathan Smith will be remembered not for how his life ended, but for how he lived. As a son who was deeply loved. As an artist who followed his passion. As a young man whose presence left a mark. For Lil Jon and Nicole Smith, the days ahead will be filled with unimaginable grief. But they will also be filled with memories. Of laughter, of music, of moments that no headline can ever take away. In his message, Lil Jon did not ask for attention. He did not ask for sympathy. He simply shared his truth. And in doing so, he reminded the world that even icons are human. As fans and observers, the most important thing we can offer now is compassion, respect, and silence when silence is needed. If you're watching this and you have someone you love, tell them. Call them. Hug them. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Life doesn't always give warnings. And if you're struggling, know this, you are not alone. Your story matters. Your life matters. Today, the music may feel quieter. But the love Nathan Smith left behind speaks louder than any beat ever could. May he rest in peace. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to show your support. Leave a heart in the comments to honor Nathan, DJ Young Slade Smith's memory. Share this video to spread awareness about compassion, mental health, and the importance of checking in on the people we love. And if you're going through a hard time right now, please remember, you're not alone and your life truly matters.